Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV. I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor and we are now on YouTube. So every morning on Good Morning India, I give you 5 stories to poll upon, and the ones which attract most attention from you is what you and I discuss here on our YouTube channel. So let's go see what the polls today are telling us. Well, today the maximum amount of votes, 45% of them have gone to stable Maharashtra government soon, is what the Congress NCP is saying. Lots of dramatic developments on that story. Apart from that, BHU, protests versus protests. Why is that happening? Over the Muslim Professor Khan is also something that we will talk about. Okay. So Maharashtra, we've had this as a top trend for quite a few days actually. This goes on to show the amount of interest people have in what's brewing in Maharashtra, and there is not a dull moment, let me guarantee you that. Well, Maharashtra, just last evening, there was a press conference by the NCP and the Congress together, where they went ahead and said that we've spoken to each other and there will be a government soon, which the Shiv Sena will be heading. Those were the words used by the NCP. They also said that very soon we'll come up with an alliance schedule. Most of the modalities have been worked out, but it's only the power sharing. Who gets what portfolio? For how long will one party get a chief minister? All those nitty-gritties, in fact, the big movers and shakers really, is what still remains to be worked out within this alliance. Now, what's interesting in this is the fact that the Congress, NCP and Shiv Sena have never come till date, despite repeated promises of forming government, have never come together on one platform. We've always heard from Congress and NCP, sometimes in the same voice, sometimes not, and then separately from Shiv Sena in Mumbai. So yesterday as well, the same thing happened. We heard from NCP and Congress, then there was separate soundbite that came in from Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena, who is in the national capital, mind you. And he said that things are working on track, everything is all right. And he suggested that very soon, once the basic common minimum program is in place, then their Shiv Sena leadership might fly down to Delhi and then there could be final talks between them. At the moment, the sticking points remain to be who exactly is going to be the chief minister and for how long. The names doing the rounds is Uddhav Thackeray, who's set to be the chief minister first for the first 2.5 years, some are saying even 3 years, and then there could be a chief minister for the remaining turn of the NCP. Congress might end up getting a deputy chief minister along with the speaker in the house. So that's what we're picking up from sources, really. Nothing has been finalized so far. But this morning, after this was said in, last night when we were discussing this story, we thought everything is finally on track. They're all on the same page, especially after what Sharad Pawar had said, say 2 days ago, where he said that, oh really, are they going to form government? And he got everybody thinking that something else was on, especially after Sharad Pawar just had a one-on-one meeting with Prime Minister Modi yesterday. Well, when it is a one-on-one meeting, only the Prime Minister and Sharad Pawar know what really happened. So all we are left to do is really speculate. But later he released a paper and some documents saying that his meeting with the Prime Minister was actually on the agrarian crisis. And then the meeting happened in the evening with the Congress and they said, well, all is well. So that happened last night. This morning when we woke up and we were in the middle of our bulletin, we got news that an urgent CWC meeting of the Congress party has been called. What's a CWC? It's the Congress Working Committee, which is the highest decision-making body in the Congress party. We got to know at 9:15. We got the news at 9 o'clock that at 9:15 there is going to be this urgent CWC meeting at Sonia Gandhi's residence where they will be thinking and talking Maharashtra. Again, we were all excited and wondering, is there a rethink? Is there going to be a revision of what they said last night? Has there been some overnight development? But now it looks like that the Congress finally has managed to get its own party in order. Remember, there are not just 3 parties which have to work together. Congress within itself and within its ranks also had 2-3 different voices on this. In fact, yesterday there was a delegation of Congress leaders who met Sonia Gandhi and said, let's not form government with Shiv Sena. So today in the CWC meeting, what's been the big takeaway is that Congress has managed to get its own house in order. And apart from that, K.C. Venugopal, who is one of the senior most leaders in the Congress party, said this, and let me quote to you from there. He said, "We have discussed various issues in the Congress Working Committee. We had discussion yesterday as well, discussions mainly on Maharashtra politics, positive outcomes seen during the discussion. And we have to finalize the discussions. That is why we are meeting today. And finally, we will have a decision by tomorrow. Maybe." So K.C. Venugopal saying, putting a timeline finally to the Maharashtra politics and saying that there will be a discussion. Finally, there might be a blueprint of how these three parties will work together, if at all, in Maharashtra. And they'll probably have that decision by tomorrow. And that is also falling in line with what we are hearing from Shiv Sena. Meanwhile, my colleague Purva has been telling us that in Maharashtra on Friday there is going to be a big meeting of Shiv Sena MLAs at Uddhav Thackeray's residence, and that's where they will be finalizing their modalities as well. So towards the weekend, perhaps, if my assumption is right, we could have more clarity. So it will be an exciting weekend here at NDTV when it comes to the Maharashtra politics, the Game of Thrones over there. Still very, very active, and we still don't know how it's going to work out. A quick note before I leave you on the story and we move to the next one is that even if these three parties form government and iron out all the differences between them, it is not a done deal. Remember, Maharashtra is under President's rule, and currently it is going to be like that for the next 6 months. So what will this alliance do then? Will they write to the governor, ask him to remove the president's rule and get in and swear in a new government? Even that is not an easy battle. So for people and residents of Maharashtra, it is not like you're going to get a government anytime soon, not in the immediate future at least, and not without another round of ifs and buts in this story. So that's what Maharashtra politics is looking like this morning. The other story that you have shown interest in is the BHU protests versus protests over the Muslim professor. Now, this has got so much attention, especially because BHU in a way stood for so many things. And this time around, when in their Sanskrit department, there was an assistant professor, Professor Firoze Khan, who was gotten to teach students Sanskrit, there was a revolt. And revolt was by these 30 students who sat outside the office of the VC and said that we want him removed. Their issue basically was, and something that really pains to say actually, their issue was that we cannot have a Muslim professor giving us degree into becoming pandits and into becoming professors and students of Sanskrit themselves. This pained Professor Khan to the degree that he left the campus. He went back to his house in Rajasthan, and he comes from very, very sober and very, very humble means. He went back there, he switched off his phone, and he hasn't turned back. Post that, now another protest has come up, and this one is much larger in number. This is by students who are saying, bring back Professor Khan. Let me show you those visuals over there that we've got. Those are what the posters at the BHU campus were looking like. And while the earlier protest by those 30-odd students was only from the Sanskrit department, this protest saying, we are with you, Firoze Khan, Dr. Firoze Khan, the Joint Action Committee as well, has involved students from all over the campus. It's not just a Sanskrit department. It is not just the Faculty of Arts, but BHU, which is a huge campus. Everybody there saying now in one voice that he should be brought back. Will this really happen? Will this lead to something? We don't know. But aside from this came this very, very heartwarming story from his father. We tracked down his father and his brother and found out that Dr. Firoze Khan actually comes from a family of Sanskrit scholars. His father sings bhajans, Hindi and Sanskrit bhajans, in temples and gets a lot of money from that. His brother does the same. Firoze Khan perhaps was the tallest and the biggest star in the family who managed to make his way all the way to become an assistant in BHU, only to meet this fate really, which is sad. But let me leave you with this bhajan of the father, and he sang it for NDTV. Listen in.
मैं आपको वही भजन सुनाऊंगा जो फिरोज गाया करता था बचपन। ज्योति कलश झलके, ज्योति कलश झलके,
Far from the prestigious Banaras.
So that is part of the report as well. That is on NDTV, and you can watch all that at length as we've been reporting on that. But his father, like I said, he comes from a family of Sanskrit scholars, and the BHU administration at this point at least has come out to say that he's the most suitable person for the job. But there is now a bit of politics in this involved as well. This morning we also got the first reaction, political reaction on what's happening in BHU. I want to pull out for you what Mayawati has said. And this is what her tweet came in this morning. It said, in the Banaras Hindu University as a Sanskrit teacher, the scandalous attitude of the government administration over the controversy regarding PhD scholar Firoze Khan is unnecessary, putting the matter on hold. The controversy arising out of some people linking education with the extreme politics of religion and caste cannot be justified. She goes on in another tweet to say that appointment of the highly suitable Muslim Sanskrit scholar by BHU as its teacher will be considered as giving proper patronage to talent, and no one should be allowed to do any work that is demoralizing in this regard. It would be better if the government pays proper attention to this immediately. Her attack is mostly at the Adityanath BJP government in UP. But what will happen next? Well, remember, 14 days and counting, the students of Sanskrit have not gone back to their classes. Now, with overwhelming support coming in for Professor Khan, will it change? We'll keep our eyes on that, and we'll bring you all the latest on this and keep you updated as well. For the moment, that's all we have for you on Top Stories today. See you again tomorrow.